All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to this explainer where we're unpacking a massive paradigm shift in how we actually view education, success, and what it truly takes to thrive in the 21st century. If you're focused on figuring out how to navigate the modern world effectively, you are absolutely in the right place. For generations, the primary goal of education has basically been restricted to academic achievement, chasing those scores, the grades, the degrees. But as we're about to see, academics alone, they're just not cutting it anymore. We're looking at a fundamental shift from just memorizing facts to actually developing the capabilities required to succeed in real, everyday life situations. So what exactly is driving this shift? Well, let's look at the data.
50%. This number is our absolute wake-up call. According to our source material, more than 50% of Indian graduates right now lack basic employability skills. Just think about that for a second. We've got more than 50 lakh, that is 5 million students graduating every single year, stepping out into the real world with their degrees in hand, and yet a staggering half of them, or even more, just aren't considered fit to be employed. It's a massive, glaring disconnect between what's happening inside the classroom and what's actually required out there in the real world. Now, we really need to make a crucial distinction here. We hear the word unemployment tossed around a lot, right? The simple lack of available jobs. But the far bigger, honestly more insidious problem we're facing today is unemployability. Unemployability means the jobs might actually be out there waiting, but the candidates lack the general skills, the mindsets, and the basic abilities to actually do them. It tells us that our traditional academic systems, well, they're creating really efficient test takers, but they are totally failing to equip individuals with the toolkit they actually need for the boardroom, a collaborative workspace, or just life in general. So if academics are just one piece of the puzzle, what exactly is missing?
Section 1. Decoding essential life skills. Let's break it down.
Here's the formal definition we need to anchor ourselves to. Life skills are defined as a range of psychosocial and cognitive abilities that empower individuals to make informed decisions, manage their emotional well-being, and communicate effectively. I want you to really think about that carefully, because it's so much more than just a teaching curriculum. This is a universally applicable toolkit. Whether you're leading a corporate team, navigating a really complex personal relationship, or just trying to solve a sudden crisis, these are the generic internal abilities that allow you to process information, keep your composure, and act decisively.
The multifaceted nature of these skills is honestly incredible. When we say life skills, I know it can sound a little abstract, but it actually breaks down into incredibly concrete parts. We're talking about focus, responsibility, empathy, communication, curiosity, and reflectiveness, the whole shebang. It includes everything from good judgment and self-control to leadership, integrity, and just the general flexibility of your mind. And here's the best part. These aren't just innate personality traits you're randomly born with. They are specific, highly developable abilities that enhance your coping resources, your personal competencies, and your social competencies. So let's zoom in on one of the absolute most critical mechanisms of the human brain.
Section 2. The power of resilience.
When you look at a classic optical illusion, what animal do you see first? Is it a duck with its beak pointing to the left, or is it a rabbit looking to the right? This perfectly illustrates a really fundamental truth about life. Every single situation is going to be perceived differently by different people, and it's going to have a totally different impact based on our own unique personal and social experiences. Because our realities are shaped by our perceptions, navigating conflicts and challenges requires us to actively manage how we see things. We literally have to be resilient enough to cope with ever-changing, often highly stressful situations. So, how does resilience actually work under the hood? Our source defines resilience not just as simply bouncing back, but as a highly dynamic learning process that combines a few key internal mechanisms. The crucial steps include, first off, emotional awareness, so perceiving the situation correctly and actually understanding the feelings associated with it. Second is flexibility and accurate thinking, meaning you take your time to arrive at decisions and anticipate changes. And third is optimism and self-efficacy, basically believing in your own capability to handle the adversity while maintaining impulse control and empathy. You use these internal mechanisms to deal with the situation directly, rather than just letting it overwhelm you.
The crucial point here is perfectly captured by the metaphor of a tightrope walker. A resilient person is quite literally balancing through life's challenges. They see the challenge ahead, sure, but they think positively. They focus strictly on what they can actually control rather than panicking over the wind speed or the height of the drop. They commit to their goals, they remain empathetic, and, crucially, this is big, when the rope wobbles, they don't blame themselves. They just adjust their footing. It's a highly active, conscious state of balance. Now that we understand what these skills are, we've got to ask the practical question. How do we actually build them?
Section 3. nurturing skills in practice.
You can't just cross your fingers and hope these skills develop by accident. They require a deliberate, highly structured environment. To nurture life skills effectively, we have to emphasize the power of effort over just natural innate talent. We have to actively mentor individuals, whether they're students in a classroom or colleagues at work, and constantly nurture their inquisitiveness. We need to encourage them to use daily objects or approach common problems in assorted, innovative new ways. And of course, we absolutely must encourage teamwork. But there is one specific element here that acts as the foundational cornerstone for all this growth.
And that element is feedback. To build any real-life skill, you have to create a safe environment for constructive feedback. It's absolutely crucial. Without accurate, constructive feedback, people just cannot calibrate their accurate thinking or their self-awareness. Learning how to properly give and receive feedback without immediately taking it as a personal attack, well, that is the very practice of resilience and empathy happening in real time. Let's see how this all builds into the bigger picture. No individual skill is built or operates in a vacuum. Empathy naturally drives communication. Communication then drives teamwork, and teamwork is what drives complex problem solving. When individuals are supported by good mentorship and constructive feedback, they lock together just like interlocking gears, moving the entire system forward. It's a deeply collaborative process that empowers individuals to positively impact one another. So what happens when we successfully integrate all of this?
Section 4, the holistic learning approach. Bringing it all together, a true complete education targets every single aspect of human capability. It's not just about the head, critical thinking, problem solving, and managing resources. It's equally about the heart, relating to others, showing empathy, and conflict resolution. It heavily involves the hands, actually giving back, leadership, and teamwork. And finally, it involves health, living well, managing your stress, and building self-esteem. When we weave these life skills into our learning frameworks, we create this beautiful holistic balance.
The real-world impact of this holistic approach is just profound. Implementing life skills makes a massive, measurable difference in 3 core areas. First up, academic achievement. Students with strong social-emotional skills actually perform better academically because they have the discipline and the proper mindset to learn. Second, workforce readiness. This directly cures that unemployability crisis we talked about at the very beginning by equipping people with the adaptable skills employers actually want and need. And third, personal growth and satisfaction. It literally gives individuals the tools to improve their own lives, impact their behavior, and make responsible, healthy choices. I want to leave you with this incredibly powerful thought directly from our source material. Academics help create an efficient professional, but not a fine human being. True and complete education comprises of both information that can facilitate transformation and its application in real life. It really forces us to take a step back and ask ourselves, are we just mindlessly chasing the degree, or are we actively building the life skills required to truly flourish? Think about your own toolkit today. How can you start deliberately nurturing